And we're back with TSPN, and we have Jerry Cassesi with us this morning. Jerry,
how you doing? Good morning.
We're involved in a lot of things together, but you have the Friends of Amador County group that is opposing the efforts of the Buena Vista band of, I want to say Miwok Indians, but it's Miwok Indian to create a casino.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not opposed to a casino. We're opposed to the government not following the rules and regulations. That's really what we're opposed to.
Well, people, so they differentiate. We have two cases in Amador County. One group is the No Casino in Plymouth group,
right,
and they're opposing the efforts of the IOM band to form a, well, actually to get a piece of property and put it in a trust, because basically it's a prima facie case of reservation, off-reservation shopping.
Right. Right.
So that's the way that one's looked at, and that's why the county and NCIP is opposing that. And by the way, I want to give credit to Walt Dimmers. He's retiring and heading back to the Bay Area. But now back to your case. Why is there opposition based on the piece of land?
Well, our opposition is the land is not eligible, and the government is not following the rules and regulations. I mean, that's not a surprise to anybody who listens to the evening news. The government doesn't follow rules and regulations. So they're trying to put a casino on land that's not eligible for a casino, and they're using an illegally formed tribe to block us from presenting our case in court. So the government's violating the law by allowing this tribe to form by not following the rules, and then they're using that tribe to prevent average citizens from questioning the government, and that's where we're at.
Now this land was involved in the Telly Hardwick process many years ago, probably 20 years ago now, but it is fee simple land in nature, right? And you might want to explain what that means to people.
Well, what that means is it's just like anybody else's property. You pay taxes on your property, I pay taxes on my property. That's fee simple land. This property is fee simple land. In fact, as you know, the county has a lawsuit against that piece of property being eligible for casino land. They had paid taxes on it for years, and then they stopped, and now they're saying it's eligible for a casino.
And people might say, well, why isn't the county going after them like they would me if I didn't pay my taxes? And I guess there's only so much money the county has and only so many fights you want to engage in.
That's exactly right. You know, I mean, the county, just like everybody else, we're struggling for funds right now. In fact, we have now hired a high-priced law firm from Washington, D.C. that's costing us a lot of money. So if anybody would like to contribute to the fight to make the government follow the rules, they could send a donation to Post Office Box 1759 and IOM 95640 under care of Friends of Amador County. I'll guarantee you the money will go to fight the government and make sure the government follows the laws just like everybody else does.
And if they can't remember that, what is, they could call you, you're in the phone book, I guess,
They could call me, yes, 274-4386. We can give them any information they'd like, and we could sure appreciate it, because our legal costs have astronomically gone up. We've had a different attorney, and now we've hired a high-priced attorney, because we're at the Supreme Court level right now, so.
Now you're trying to get the Supreme Court to adopt your challenge based on what ground?
Based on the fact that we're suing the government, making them follow the laws, and the government has this illegally formed tribe that's blocking us from getting to court, so we can't even present our case in court.
The Supreme Court has to review that first and decide whether they're going to accept that case. So that process is taking place right now?
It's taking place right now, yes. And we should know probably by the end of November or the end of December whether we go back. All we're asking is to give us our day in court, let us present our evidence, and make sure the government follows the laws just like you and I follow the laws every day.
Now, the Supreme Court's come down with some decisions already, what cases they're going to accept. They're taking a little bit longer on some other cases. Do you think they just haven't got to through the process yet of looking at your case?
Well, I know from the internet there was 10 cases of Indian law that the Supreme Court denied. I found out the other day that our case is up to the Solicitor General's office and being looked at very carefully by the government. So we made the first cut, so we'll see what happens.
The Solicitor General, is he basically employed at the well of the White House?
That's exactly right.
That may not be a good sign, though.
Well, that's true. But either way he goes, it's up to the Supreme Court. And we were told that if we had filed on the East Coast with that court over there, we'd be in court right now. But the West Coast, they kicked us out because the tribe intervened, and we think that's why the Supreme Court will take this, because if you're on one coast, you get it. If you're on the other coast, you don't. So
I know a lot of interest is generated in Washington when we go back. There are many legislators that won't even talk to you, as high as Byron Dorgan, who was the chair of the Indian Gaming Affairs Committee in the Senate, would not even meet with us. His staff would. But she said right off the bat, you know, the senator is not in favor of what you're doing. Well, that's not unusual when you look at how much money comes into elected officials from Indian gaming and from tribes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We have made 2 trips to Washington, D.C. You were there one time, and one time we were accused of being racist, and it's just there's so much money in gambling that the average citizen, just trying to get the government to follow their own laws, it's almost impossible.
Well, I actually had a legislator who I'm going to leave unnamed right now, but he made the statement to me that, well, there's something to be said for freedom, and just like that with his hand over, and at that point we kind of got into it a little bit.
Yeah,
but, you know, but I could look at his campaign tally, and I could look at many others who support Indian gaming and tribes, and they're some of the biggest receivers of contributions from tribes.
Yeah, we've got the best government that money can buy, I think. You know.
Let's talk about your fundraiser before we run out of time. This Saturday, October 18th.
Right. It's at Evan Bishop Hall. We start at 6 o'clock. You're going to get a great meal, and the price is $35, and all of our proceeds go towards paying off our legal fees.
That's a big fee with the law firm you have, but you know, sometimes it takes that to get action.
Well, you know, when you're playing in the big leagues, you got to have somebody that has some clout and somebody that can present your case, and that's what we had to do.
And I guess it's worth saying, no matter how the tribal chairperson for Buena Vista portrays it, it is a one-person tribe.
It is actually a one-person tribe. We've got the documents. In fact, the federal government asked the tribe, how come you didn't have more votes? You only have 1 vote on the liquor license, and their attorney said, well, we only have 1 voting member.
Yeah. So. Well, we have to go, but this Saturday, October 18th, in Ione at Evelyn Bishop Hall, 6 p.m. And Jerry, your number again?
274-4386.
Okay, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go to a break and be right back with TSPN.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.